Chapter 1. Death, life, both mean nothing in the absence of love. The plane jolts, and I grip my seat, trying to contain my nerves. Anxiety rolls through my chest as the aircraft descends into Romania, carrying me toward my destiny, and, quite possibly, my doom. I don't want to go home. Even now, I want this plane to turn around and take me back to Russia. But since most of my companions were murdered last night, I know that's not an option. Home is the only place in the world that's still safe. As we emerge from the grey cover of clouds, I witness my domain. Scattered fairy tale cities cluster against emerald pine forests hundreds of kilometers wide. The woodland is bitterly cold, even during midsummer, and lurking with monsters witnessed by most only in stories. Rolling green farmlands kiss crumbling castles, and long highways wind through grey mountains that have been chiseled from the hard resilience of the earth. My country appears as a painting through the dirty window, and I spread my hand over it. All of it, and all of its responsibilities, are mine. It feels like such a heavy burden. From far above, I can make out a thin, moving line. At first, I think it's a row of cars, but as the plane drops downward, a bitter taste enters my mouth. The sight of my enemy. I'm fooling myself if I think this will be a joyful family reunion. I'm here to do a job, nothing else. I know that before the night ends, there will be blood. Doubt surges through my head. I've been gone for so many years. Will they even recognize me? I shake off a trail of fear. I am Grand Duchess Lysandra Romanova Dracula, Princess of Vampires, heir to the throne. As the chosen one, I can't afford to be afraid. All my training and travels for the past 4 years have led me to this moment. Fear is an irrelevant thing that will only hinder my task. I steel my nerves and avoid a lurch of nausea as the plane touches down and the sun sets. The safety of night has come. I grab my small carry-on, my only luggage, and make my way off the plane. The airport is busy. The bodies pressing against one another make it difficult to move. No one notices me, the porcelain girl, maneuvering quickly through the crowd. I can hear the beat from each heart and feel the rush of blood pounding through their veins as the warm, soft skin of the humans brushes against my icy, hard exterior. I ignore temptation easily, though the stench of their life force is equivalent to the smells coming off a fast food court in the middle of a shopping center. My stomach rumbles, but I roll my eyes and tell it to quiet down. Never have I tasted human blood. I take a sip of the lamb's blood carefully concealed inside my tumbler, which I made sure to grab before the trip as a way to stave off hunger. I maneuver through the crowded airport, wishing I had some sort of chocolate or sweets. Now where would they be? After wandering the airport for 15 minutes with no luck, I have to use the restroom. While washing my hands, I hear a faint noise. It is too soft for a human to hear, but not for a vampire. My eyes glance to the mirror, and I see a lock slightly jiggle. Something is in the stall behind me. I knew it would be dangerous coming back, but I hadn't expected to be cornered so soon. Welcome back, Lysandra. Coolly, I dry my hands, acting like I'm unaware of the stall door creeping open. I couldn't take any weapons on the plane. All I have to defend myself with is my tumbler. I keep the corner of my eye on the mirror, stilling my body for the opportune moment. It begins with the flash of a knife, and the screeching wail of a heathen. I dive to the side just as the corner of the knife nicks my t-shirt and tears a tiny hole in my jeans. With incredible speed, I slam the plastic tumbler as hard as I can against the assailant's head, and blood goes splashing onto the floor. I then grab my attacker, a male vampire, by the back of his shirt collar, and my other hand buries into his hair. I use all my strength to slam his skull into the wall, and the tile shatters. I twist his hand holding the knife until I have taken it for my own, and then push him down, putting a knee on his chest to hold him. I raise the blade. "Who are you? What do you want?" I demand. Then I notice something. The mark on the vampire's wrist is one of a bat spreading its wings, flying against a red and black coat of arms. That's my father's crest. This is his soldier. What's going on? "Well done, Lysandra," a familiar voice says behind me. "I am very impressed." I turn to witness an ancient vampire, wrinkles around his stern grey eyes, experienced and weathered hands clasped firmly before his fine suit. Not a strand of his salt and pepper hair is out of place. Even in his old age, he appears very handsome, rigid, and noble. I smile. Sergei. Of course he would have something to do with this. "Grandfather!" I cry, leaping to my feet and tossing the knife down. "Lysandra," Sergei says, spreading his arms wide and smiling at me, a rare thing. I run into his arms and throw myself into his embrace, squeezing tightly. Though it's like hugging concrete, Grandfather feels like home to me. It's been too long. "What's all this?" I laugh, glancing down at the other vampire, who is moaning on the floor. "I wanted to make sure you were adequately prepared in your time away. I am quite pleased with what you have learned," Sergei says gruffly, pulling apart from me. "It seems you are ready for the task ahead." My mood darkens. "Yes, of course," I say, nodding curtly. I resume my dignified stance and ask, "So when do we begin? Will Father declare war once I arrive, or will he wait for the shifters to strike first? Do we start killing wolves in the open, or eliminate the packs one by one? Does my engagement to Tomlin still stand?" The questions that have been nagging at me for months pour out of my mouth, and I'm unable to halt their flow. "All is for Tsar Dracomir to decide," Sergei says, "after he has considered your role in the coven." The floor falls out from under me. My role? "Things have been very different since you left Lysandra." Sergei chooses his words carefully. "The Imperial Palace has been attacked by wolves near every fortnight since you've been gone. Your role as the Chosen One will not be acknowledged by your father unless you can first prove yourself worthy. Otherwise, you'll be forced from the grounds." "You mean if he doesn't accept me, I'll be banished?" "I'm afraid so," Sergei says, and even his stone eyes appear worried. "But don't be afraid, granddaughter. I'm sure you will pass the test." My heart feels like it's being twisted by a pair of rough, brutish hands. I thought my father, Dragomir, would welcome me back into the coven eagerly. It was his decision that I leave, after all. Banishing me would mean he has lost all faith in the prophecy. Or has he lost faith in me instead? I don't know what I would do if I were banished. I would lose my inheritance, not to mention I have nowhere to go. The other covens wouldn't take me back if my own father, Lord of the Vampires, disowned me. Whatever he decides, I have to go along with it. I have no choice. Very well. let me go to my fate.
It will be a good one, I'm sure. You, get up!
Sergei kicks the vampire lying on the ground, and he groans.
We must leave. Time is of the essence. The Grand Duchess cannot be discovered here.
The other vampire stumbles to his feet. It is only now that I realize how gigantic he is. He's a brute of a thing. One of his biceps is larger around than my head. He looks at the blood pooling around the fallen tumbler hungrily. It appears he wants to lick it off the floor. I wrinkle my nose.
Forgive Boris, Sergei says, giving him a sharp look. He is currently weaning himself off human sustenance. Blood is all he craves.
Boris recoils and looks away. I keep quiet. I wonder why my grandfather would bring a ticking time bomb such as Boris to the middle of a bustling airport. But then things become clear. Nothing is more dangerous than a vampire trying to kick the habit of feeding on humans. He'll kill whatever's in sight. I follow my grandfather out of the restroom, and Boris trails behind us. We leave the airport and walk outside where a stretch limo is waiting. Inside are 4 other vampires, all male, all huge. My guards, I suppose, taken from the best of my grandfather's ranks. At least my father cares enough about me to get me there before he makes a crass judgment about my usefulness. I settle against the leather seat, and with nothing else to do, look out the window. Bucharest is still a few hours away from the castle. It will be a long drive and nearly daylight before we reach the homestead. We drive through small towns made of picturesque buildings, preserved through the ages, constructed with Gothic, Baroque, and Renaissance architecture, until the view changes and dark forests emerge, barely lit under the light of the full moon. During the long drive, my mind wanders. Over and over, it repeats the prophecy that the family witch, Valentina, had foretold the night before my birth, the prophecy that had determined the course of my life before I was even born. The one who shall end the shifter line comes, born on winter's first breath, fair of hair, blue of eye, descended from the Romanov dynasty. I had been gone for 4 years, since I was 14, traveling to the various covens of the world and learning how to kill werewolves. Each of them had something different to teach me, but in all the time I was gone, I hadn't even seen a shifter, let alone fought one. If I told my father this, would he already think me inadequate? The last night I saw a wolf was the twilight before I left for Russia, a night I never wish to remember again, but am forced to each day in my dreams. Sergei said things had changed at the Imperial Palace. How? What is home now like? Surely my best friend Lydia is still the bright and cheery girl I used to know. Does she still consider me a friend? And Tomlin, my betrothed, he was always athletic and strong, brave. I can't imagine him changing either. There's that same tickle of doubt. It's been 4 years. I used to be little, naive. I'm nothing like I was when I left. How can I expect anyone else to be the same? Eventually, exhaustion takes over, and I doze off. A little while later, I feel Sergei's hand on my arm.
Lysandra, we're almost there, he whispers. Just a little while longer, and you'll be able to rest properly in your own bed.
I yawn. So father is willing to give me a good day's sleep before he makes his decision. How nice of him. I blink blearily and force myself to wake up. Just as I'm getting my bearings, I hear the driver cry out from the front.
Sir, come see this.
What's happening? Sergei asks irritably, turning his weary head.
Sir, they're blocking the road. We're under attack,
the driver shouts. There's no time to react. From somewhere in the back, an explosion rocks the car, flipping it over and sending it careening through the air. I hold on tight as the car goes rolling, the seatbelt the only thing holding me in place as we tumble over and over dozens of times. The car finally screeches to a sickening stop. Around me there are groans, but my throat cannot make a sound. Boris punches out a door, and we crawl out, some of us sawing off seatbelts that have gotten stuck. I look around under the pale light of the moon and see that everyone is accounted for. Though the limo is totaled, we're all fine. Explosions and car crashes aren't enough to kill vampires. Someone just wanted to get us off the road. Then I see them. Long shadows in the darkness. A dozen or so figures lurking among the trees. It's a hunting party. And they're hunting me.
You can listen to the rest of the book in the Tempt Romance audiobooks app, available on the App Store and Google Play. The link to the book is in the description. Discover even more bestsellers and exclusive stories updated weekly, only in Tempt Romance audiobooks.